Before we get into today's video, please feel free to like the video if you enjoyed the video. You can dislike the video if you don't like the video. But also be sure, if you aren't already, please be sure to like and subscribe. We are currently on the road to 200 subscribers. And, it's going to be a fun road. And I can't wait to see who comes along. If you come along, I can't wait to have you be a part of this journey. Also, make sure you follow my Instagram and Twitter. Links to those in the description as always. I have a film essay channel. I will put the link to that in the description. I have a podcast channel as well. Everything I mentioned will be in the description below. But let's talk about Kevin Durant. Well, who was Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant was an All-American. He was one of the best, if not the best, in his high school class. Kevin Durant would become one of the greatest Texas freshmen and freshmen in NCAA history. Kevin Durant would be drafted second overall in the 2007 NBA draft. Kevin Durant would win Rookie of the Year, averaging 20 points a game. Kevin Durant would develop into a four-time scoring champion with the OKC Thunder. Kevin Durant would be an MVP in a young age. Kevin Durant would make his next chapter in one of the most snake moves in NBA history. Kevin Durant would win 2 finals and 2 finals MVPs. Kevin Durant would tear his ACL or Achilles in the most recent NBA finals. Kevin Durant would sign with the Brooklyn Nets, where Kevin Durant is currently being a sideline coach because he's injured and hopefully will come back better next year. Okay, heads up, this next part's going to be a bit more rambly than it is structured. So, there's a fair warning, but it's kind of structured, but it's mostly rambly. So, just be prepared for that. Kevin Durant has been labeled a snake, a cupcake, and probably rightfully so, honestly. But, at the end of the day, he's a special talent. And I think anyone with common sense who knows even a little bit about basketball knows how special of a talent he is. He's going to be a Hall of Famer when he decides to hang him up. He's probably among the 10 to 5 best players at his position. And he's a generational talent. One of the greatest, if not the greatest scorer of all time. And you see, Kevin Durant is great. And what I consider people don't realize, and this is people who probably started watching basketball around the time he joined the Warriors, and you really didn't get to see him and see how great he was, because honestly, how great Kevin Durant was at such a young age is quite astonishing, and I don't think people talk about it enough, honestly. So what is Kevin Durant? Now, many people know that Kevin Durant is an all-time great scorer. At his size at near 7 feet, even though he lied about his height for the majority of his career, and his ability to handle the basketball better than even some of the best point guards, to being able to score from literally anywhere on the court, 3-point line, mid-range, slashing to the rim, drawing fouls, hitting his free throws. He does it all. And all of it is at a high level, which is insane. And his efficiency, which in my opinion is what makes him a great scorer. You see, you can have all the scoring tools, you can have all the tricks in your bag, but it takes a lot to be as efficient as Kevin Durant has been. He has been near 50, 40, 90 throughout most of his career. In fact, he did it in his age 24 season. So, yeah, I think his efficiency is something that makes him such a great scorer. Now, again, something I don't think people talk about is his rise to all-time great status really happened quickly. How quickly? I'm talking at the age of 23. Because at the age of 23, Kevin Durant was a 3-time All-Star. made the All-NBA first team 3 times, and had won 3 scoring titles. Add on top of the fact he won the Rookie of the Year, and up to this point in his career, Kevin Durant was averaging 26.3 points, 6.6 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 46.8% shooting from the field, 36.4% from 3, shot 87.8% from the line. And this was for 4 years in the league. That was his career average. So, yeah, I think at that point, you're like, he's maybe 2 All-Star appearances away from making the Hall of Fame. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he had a legit case just based off what he did. But the time he entered the league to the time he was 23. That's how good Kevin Durant was. And the funny thing is, he would lose in the playoffs a lot early on in his career. Now, here are the teams he lost to. He lost to the Lakers in 2010. That team would go on to win the NBA title. He would lose to the Mavs in the conference finals next year. You know what happened to that team? They wanted to win the NBA finals. And he made the finals in his age 23 season, the lockout shortened year, and they would lose in the finals to the Heat. So, yeah, it wasn't like Kevin Durant was losing the bad teams. He was losing the teams that, honestly, had he probably beaten, could have probably got him a ring earlier. Now, another thing about Kevin Durant is, I think his MVP season is the most underrated NBA season by a player. Well, not exactly the most, but it's up there as one of the most underrated MVP seasons ever. His averages for his MVP season: tried 32 points per game, 7.4 rebounds per game, 5.5 assists per game, on 50.3% shooting from the field, 39.1% shooting from 3, 87.3% shooting from the line, leading the Thunder to 59 wins, while Russell Westbrook, the other star of the team, only played in 46 games, and add on top of the fact that of players on the OKC roster to play at least 60 games, only 2 other players averaged double-digit points, Reggie Jackson and Serge Ibaka. And he would lead the Thunder to the conference finals, where they would lose, again, to the eventual NBA champion, San Antonio Spurs. Now, of course, Kevin Durant would actually deal with a foot injury that would end his season in 2015. Now, the next year he would come back, average 28 points, help lead the Thunder to the conference finals, where they would go up 3-1 against the 73-9 Golden State Warriors. Now, what would happen after that? Well, they would blow a 3-1 lead, and then Kevin Durant would do one of the most unthinkable betrayals of all time. And he joined the team that he blew a 3-1 lead to. Now, it was bad enough, but when you're Kevin Durant, it isn't that, oh man, this team's going to be great. It's going to be, oh man, how the fuck are we supposed to stop that team? Because it was like that with Kevin Durant on the roster. How are you going to stop Golden State? You got an MVP point guard. They have an MVP small forward. They have a guy that can go for 60 points in under 30 minutes. They have an all-around defensive guy, glue guy, whatever you want to call him. And those centers just play well within the role, and they aren't considered a weak link to the team, if I can speak correctly. So what happened? Well, Kevin Durant would help the Warriors to the finals. Well, not exactly help, it was just really part of the team. But I want to talk about the 2017 NBA Finals. I want to talk about it because that series honestly was a lot closer than you would think. And honestly, I think that series is way more entertaining if Kevin Durant isn't on the roster. Now, Warriors woke up 2-0. They won their 2 games in Golden State. They head to Cleveland for Game 3. They enter the fourth quarter down 5 points. And this is a big game, because it's the difference between 2-1 and 3-0. It's a big difference. 2-1, still a chance that this is going to be a good series. 3-0, you basically put your foot in the ground. Now, here's something that happens. Fourth quarter, Kevin Durant, he scores or assists on 19 of the 29 points in that quarter. So that means he was responsible for 19 of 29 points. And he would hit a 3-pointer with 45 seconds left to give the Warriors the lead. I actually made a video about this shot. It was created for a group project by the NBA storyteller, aka Emia, or whatever you want to call it. I think I said that wrong, my bad. But it was a video about our favorite, or a defining finals moment. And this was mine. Because this shot not only ended Cleveland's season, it also basically was the start of a slow decline, or rather quick decline, only really took 2 years, in Cleveland from the perennial powerhouse in the East to the nobody in the East. Now, I'm not saying if Kevin Durant wasn't in that series, the Warriors wouldn't win that series. I also think the Warriors wouldn't have been heavy favorites to win that series without KD. I also think that KD shot changed that series. Because think about it this way. If the Cavs win that game. So what happened was the Cavs won game 4 in a blowout. I think it was just because of pure frustration. Now, who's not to say that they can win that game without pure frustration? So maybe they go into game 4 with momentum. And, Warriors, maybe they try to put their foot on the gas. Or maybe anything's possible. But there's a chance it's a different series. Because 2-1 doesn't defeat a team. 2-1 means there's a chance. 3-0 means that it seems basically defeated at that point. It's possible to come back. It's mathematically possible. But the chances of it are not very high. So I think that shot really changed a lot for them. And Kevin Durant averaged like 35 points in that series. Now again, Kevin Durant would win another Finals MVP. He would win Finals MVP for 2017 and 18. And I think what happens in the playoffs this past year was sad. He was honestly off to an amazing start in that series, in the playoffs. First series, he would average 35 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists against the Clippers. And then in the Western Conference, he would miss actually the Western Conference He would play in the Western Conference semifinals against Houston. He would play all but one game in that series, averaged 34 points for the playoffs at that point. And for that series, Kevin Durant was averaging 33 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He would miss the next series, and then would tear his Achilles in Game 5 of the NBA Finals, the only game he played in the Finals. And in that Finals game, he had 11 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Actually, I don't think he had any assists. He had no assists, and he had 2 rebounds, shot 60% from the field, hit all his free throws, was 3 for 3 from 3. Here's the thing. Kevin Durant plays that series, and even if Klay Thompson tears his ACL, okay, the Warriors win that series. Because in 11 minutes, Kevin Durant looked like the best player on the court. He honestly did. At least to me. But yeah. Right now, he's on the Brooklyn Nets. He's recovering from that Achilles tear. I hope he comes back well. He's a really fun player to watch. One of my favorite of all time. Yeah. That was bad. Hey, so my audio got cut off at that last part. That's my bad. But I think the point of this video for me was, I think everyone knows that Kevin Durant's great. But I don't think they realize how great he became so quickly. And even like at his peak and when he won the most prestigious individual award, how great it was. And I just kind of wanted to talk about that a bit. And yeah, it was a bit rambly. It's been kind of a theme here lately. But, I just kind of want to get that point across. And, I also wanted to bring up, like I said, Warriors really didn't need him. But he took them to a level of them being unstoppable. And when we think about it that way, and I think something people don't really talk about is that 2017 finals, yeah. So that's really all I wanted to talk about. But again, thank you for watching. If you made it to this point, I love you. Like and subscribe if you're new, and dislike the video if you already are subscribed, but like and subscribe again if you're new, and have a wonderful day.